Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So this is the second part of 3 pieces I made. I'm doing a Danish collaboration where the theme is spring, and I thought out some colors. And the first piece, oh sorry, it's not sharp here. It'll come back in just a second. So we made the agreement on spring, and I've figured out which colors I wanted, and the first piece is this previous video, number 61. Go and check it out if you haven't seen it already. I like the piece, but it wasn't what I had in mind. It's more Easter-like for me than spring. So this is a second attempt with the same colors actually, and it took a while. I had a fail, and here I'm showing because I wanna be able to compare the thickness of my pillow when I look at the results, and I wonder, was my pillow layer too thick? Then I don't know. So now I'm gonna test it each time over the next pieces, because then I have a comparison to make. So I'm layering the colors a bit different, and I added this green tea to give the green a little depth, because in the previous piece almost all the green turned to yellow. So I thought maybe if I give it a deep green. So fairly the same colors, a little bit of adjustments, and the pillow is thinner and the colors are a bit thinner as well. And not to spoil anything, but I had to redo this and it took a long time. I had issues with my blower. I started out with the small one because my hairdryer, even though it has a cool system, it's not completely cold, the air that comes out, and I can see the pin react. So until I found a new one, I want to use the little one, but it ran out of power, so I had to switch, and it was a mess. I really feel like the big hair blower is going nuts on me, and I feel it's hard to control it. I know it doesn't look that way when I watch the video, although today it really turned out bad. I accidentally glue the colors over the CA. So a lot of fails and retries, and I'm gonna cut out some bits and pieces where I'm tilting and not much is happening. So instead of having an hour and a half long video, I'm gonna try see if I can shorten it down a bit. So, but yeah, I'm gonna let you watch, and I talk a little bit during the tilting process and stuff, and when I don't talk, I put on some music for you guys. Talk to you later. Oh dear, it looks rather messy, but I'm gonna give it a chance anyway. I don't know if you can tell during the blowing that my pillow paint is starting to thicken up. I can show you. Wait a minute. I'm gonna put this up here so you can see. So can you tell that the paint is starting to dry? It has been pushed and wrinkly. I like the cells in most of the areas of the blue one actually. I like the cells in this one. I like the petals in this one better than in the blue one, but I'm gonna see. I reconsidered and I decided to do a deconstructed bloom instead of spinning because I felt like this bloom was not very pretty, so I would rather tilt this one than spin it. So I guess the centers have collected. I don't think this one has completely actually, but I don't know if it's gonna get any better than this because it's been standing for a little while because I had to do make some colors ready, you know. So tilting, I think I'm gonna go this way first because I don't like these petals. No, wait a minute, then maybe I should go this way first. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way and concentrate on the blue half. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. As you can see, it's kind of stuck in the blue center, but I decided to give it a go anyway. And yeah, I'm not happy about the results. I'm going to pour over some parts of it. But I tried and it was a struggle, and I'm gonna leave some of it in this video so you can see what went wrong. My main concern was not losing both blooms, or you know, part of the center of the bloom, and I think my challenge was that they were in opposite sides of the canvas. So if I concentrated on preserving one of them, the other one was almost destined to go. So I think next time I'm gonna put them in the middle, and then I can, because I don't like them necessarily being in center, but then I can put them to one side or the other. But here I felt like I didn't have many options. So I'm gonna try and smoosh some of them and hope I have enough pillow paint to straighten it out a bit. So that didn't work very well. So maybe touching up the corners. Another problem was not enough pillow paint, but I usually use too much. But maybe this time I added a little bit too little amount, you know. So a lot of things went wrong with this one, but I kept going at it, and I'm happy with the end result. So that's the important part, is that I succeeded in the end, right? Now the original plan was spring using light green and soft pinks. And quickly, after the first bloom, I was thinking, that's not gonna work out in this piece. So I mixed up or adjusted the consistency on the blue colors and thought, hey, so maybe I'm gonna do half part blue as in the sky and half part green and pink as in, you know, trees, grass and flowers, but that didn't work. So now I've decided to pour over it, and I'm gonna lay down the colors once again. And I have to admit, I don't know if it was the same order, but I guess I didn't pay attention because it wasn't that important, because the blue part was gonna get lost anyway. A thing that I noticed now, it seems like I didn't have a lot of CA on there, but maybe that is the right amount considering how the results are ending up. I guess I have a tendency of using a little bit too much CA, and then I have thick black lines, and maybe I should practice on, you know, less is better in that regard anyway. So I'm speeding up the process here, and also the tilting process, because as I mentioned earlier, it's taking me a long time. So I'm gonna try and spare you for some time. So here I'm finger painting. I felt like there was a little too much CA in the center, and I'm not that happy with that white line my finger made, so I'm using a small palette knife and maybe try and get a line into the white area, you know. And again, I'm so sorry for not being in frame in the tilting process. I'm wondering if maybe I have to change my setup, because I'm standing over a small table, meaning it's not that high up. So I'm leaning a lot forward, and my tripod with the camera is on the other side of the table. So I'm wondering, maybe it's better if I have the tripod by my side. That way I can see what I'm doing also, because when I tilt like this in this video, it's hard for me to see because I have to look over the top of the canvas and I can't see the camera's view, so I can't see if I'm in frame. So I'm gonna have to figure that part out. I don't know if any of you guys have some advice. What do you do? How is your setup, and is it working? I'm also considering having 2 cameras, but it's on the drawing board still. So now I'm looking at the blue blooms result, and I actually like it. Oh no. Here I'm swearing because I dripped 2 different places, and now I have to figure out if I can save it, get it out of there, the white drips, or if I have to start over. I'm trying to save it, but as you can tell, I did not succeed. I was thinking maybe I can drag it out, you know, like you do in a swipe, but that's not possible here, at least not with my skills. So that's a do-over, and I was actually kind of bummed out about it because I like the softness and the small area of bright colors, and the CA was beautiful, I think, but it didn't work with that dot in the middle, you know. So that's a second try, third try, but hey, I live and learn, and today was not a good painting day, but I ended up with 3 pieces as I had set out to do. This is the second one, and yeah, I used a lot of time on this one. I started 7:30 in the morning with the first piece, and I think I was done with the last piece about 4:30 in the afternoon. So many hours, but when I'm in it, the time just flies by, and that's what I love about this technique and painting, pouring in general. It's balm for my soul, and even though sometimes it's frustrating or sometimes you're caught up in troubleshooting, it kind of, it gives rest to my mind as well, because everything in the real world just sets on pause, and then I'm just concentrated in this, and yeah, I enjoy it. Just gonna put in some music for you guys and I'll be back in a little bit. Now when I started tilting this bloom, immediately I felt a much different flow from the first two. I had a good feeling about it, so I was pretty happy about that, because the first two blooms got stuck, and maybe I should have just reconsidered and just made it a do-over right away, but you never know, and sometimes you shouldn't give up in advance, you know. Here I'm just correcting a few lines and testing how deep is the layer on the blue one. I have already decided to make a new bloom at the bottom, but I just wanted to make sure that the blue area was fairly done moving, because if I needed to get more off, I would have done it before I made this blue bloom, which is the last, by the way. I'm almost done, you guys. So I'm adding the colors, and at that time I couldn't remember the the order I put the one that worked down on. So I just thought, so now I'm just gonna have to put some paint down and get going with this piece, because I was almost done. I was thinking, so now this one gotta be over soon and I can get on with a new one, you know. So I'm blowing out this one and I'm tilting, and I had some thick black areas in the center, and I changed my strategy. I didn't like the way my finger painting was going on the last bloom, so I was trying to use my little spatula instead, and I'm gonna show you now. It worked better for me, for sure. It didn't drag that much white paint to the surface, so I think that's my approach next time. So now I'm just starting tilting again, and I apologize for being out of frames at some times. Now the reason why I'm wiggling this from side to side at the same time as I'm tilting is that I want it to be a wide area. I don't want it to pin in and go narrow. So that's why I'm switching from side to side at the same time as I'm tilting over the edge. I still had a few areas. I don't know if you can almost tell now what's going wrong. Some places I don't have enough of the new paint to get the old one moving, so I'm improvising and adding a little bit more pillow and just making those, the corner and the little wiggly one, I'm adding some pillow paint and just making it slide a little bit better. And I was thinking, if I don't get everything off, then it's just gonna be negative space because the colors that were there didn't fit in, I felt like. So I was trying to get as good a result as I could, and yeah, I think it worked. Now, if you haven't seen my previous video, number 61, I'm just gonna tell you that this is the second test piece for the collaboration spring, and I sent a picture of 61, this one, and one more to my son, my adult son, and his girlfriend, and asked them, so which one of these do you feel like spring? And they said number 3, which of course wasn't this one. Oh, and here I'm adding some pillow paint to that little wiggly part that didn't have enough flow to come off. So I'm trying to create some negative space. So my son and daughter-in-law, they actually asked me, so what are you going to use this piece for? I said, oh, I don't know, I just made it. And they were just like, yo, Mom, can we get that? And maybe if you can make one more in all of the pink colors as well. So this one is going to my son and daughter-in-law, and number 61, the yellow, green, pink piece has been sold to a friend of mine, and he ordered 3 more 30 by 30 canvas, 3 pieces. The only condition was it has to be different. He likes things to be unique, so I'm gonna make some test pieces for him he can choose from, and yeah, that's kind of nice because none of these pieces turned out the way I visioned them, but it's a good example of the eye that looks. They don't know about my vision, so they only see what they see. Let me bring in for close-up. Boy, really had a job with this one. So the original plan didn't work. So I tried deconstructing by tilting, and there's a lot of sections I really like, and then there's a lot of sections, no, a few sections I don't. I feel like this here is kind of messy and out of place, and if it was completely white I would have done something about it, but there's actually some light blue in it. So, and by now I've been fiddling with this for a long time, and I'm not sure that I will get any better result. I was thinking maybe I should do something with this entire area, but then I feel like it's getting too busy, because up here there's movement, a little bit of rest here, and movement again, and then I don't know, messy but also smooth somehow. So I've decided to let it be and say, yeah, this is not, I don't think this can, I don't feel like this is a spring piece, but it's a deconstructed landscape for sure. So overall I like it, but it wasn't what I was aiming for today. So I'm just gonna say a third time is a charm, and I'm gonna try and go at it again with some new mixed pillow. What do you think, guys? Do you have any suggestions about colors? And I know I overstretched this part. It's kind of bummed out about that, but I actually think it was an area where there was, like here, some dark cell activator on top of it, but I feel like I overstretched it here as well, but this part, but I don't feel like it's too bad because I had to get rid of that pink spot that was way bigger before, so I had to sacrifice something in order to get that part off, because that was totally not in harmony with the rest, not for my taste anyway. But yeah, what do you think? If you like this video, please give it a thumb up, and if you don't subscribe already, consider to do so. If you're not having an account here on YouTube, so you don't have the opportunity to like, please consider to make an account. You don't have to use it for anything, but then you at least can show everybody else if you like the video and support the channel growing, because yeah, it means a lot. It's our way forward and our acknowledgement that we should continue doing these videos. So consider that if you don't have a login account. Go ahead and do it. It's free and it's easy, and it helps everybody you watch really a lot. So thank you guys for watching, and stay safe out there. Bye.